You know, by the way, this is Harley Davidson right here from Deadbolt, the original OG.
Okay. Yes, my man. Well, anyhow, you been there in '94. We started in '89, and I think we got signed to Cargo in '92. On the gotta thank John Reese for pushing us there from Rockin' from the Crypt.
And Eric loved you guys, obviously.
Well, he didn't like us too much, you know, but you know, John Reese got us, you know, like, hey, you gotta check these guys out, like weird, creepy weirdos. There's like, you know, so he did, and then we had one of their other like guys from Cargo Records, like that. Cajon was his name, and kind of convinced him, hey, sign these, you know, guys, like, you know, whatever, okay, you know, we're gonna deliver the goods, you know. It's like Deadbolt has had a philosophy in the beginning to what music should be, to entertain the crowd, the audience. We want you to get your money's worth. That's been kind of like our thing since the early days. Simple fact. In the '90s, music was turning to like really bad shit, and it was like people were just playing music just to play like benefits for, you know, the earth. Global warming, you know, and all that shit. Same thing as today. I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna play music just for, you know, a benefit to you know, to stop global warming, you know, it's like you're like a fucking loser. Makes me sick. And no, we never played benefits. We had played a couple guys benefits for hospitals, funeral expenses, but shit like that, you know, like global warming and save the children. You know, like, go fuck yourself. Go fucking self-and-see. But yeah. Anyhow, we had a great run, having a good time, and. You know, what we try to do with Deadbolt is like tell good, creepy stories. You know, it's like you see in Twilight Zone and all those other shows. And like, you know, you're working on your car, you're like driving across the desert, naked, you know, holding a bottle of tequila and a 45. And, you know, it's like, you know, you want to hear something's going to stimulate you during that drive. So, ciao, fuck you. That's Chinese. Okay. But yeah, you want to hear. Well, I want to hear stuff like that. So that's why I started the band. Because you know, it's like, you guys are fucking. I'm so bored with music. It's like I want to hear some good stories. Creepy hooks. You know. Why, you know, somebody went crazy and decided to kill his family somewhere in like, you know, Wichita Falls or Idaho Falls, Idaho, maybe Wichita Falls too. But the reality is way more creepier than fiction. It's just way better. So we kind of draw our inspiration on that, and then build stories on that. And just try to tell a good creepy story and keep the listener entertained.
So give me one crazy tour story. I know you guys went to Europe. I think
yes.
like in
Europe. We've been doing Europe like 10 years. So yeah, and it's like.
What I mean, did you ever get like a lap dance from a midget or anything crazy that?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Everything is so crazy. You know, touring with us. it's like we don't even remember it because it's just like par for the course. You know, it's like strange, weird things happen. And the good thing about the Deadbolt fan is that they know the music. So we call them associates. We don't call them fans. You know, we call them like your Deadbolt associate. If you can listen to Cajon Blvd off of Pseudo Death Mass, then you know what we're talking about. We're some weirdos, you know, and weird stories. So the people that, you know, we talk to, Europe and all over the world, they're in tune with what we're talking about. So we call them associates instead of fans. I think the best tour story was when Lithuania, they showed up at a gig in Berlin. It's a club called the Wild at Heart, and it was like a whole contingent of people from Lithuania were there. Like, which I kind of drew my attention because I'm part Lithuanian. Well, Dad was Lithuanian. So I was like, wow, gee, my people are here. so they finally got us. We were doing, I think, last European tour. Flew us over we landed in Moldavia. And then they shuttled us over to Lithuania, Vilnius, beautiful city, and great people, and like kind of played like, you know, it's kind of like the city of Vilnius's people were running a whole art show, and you know, it was great. It was like we played there, and they're playing through these little amps, like strange names, the Kremlin Cruncher. Just kidding. But that was a good one, Lithuania. We had a great time there. We drank all those lithies under the table. It was, good guys. But great beer in Lithuania. And we talked about like when the communists, had occupied the country, and great people. We had a great time. That to me stands out as like a good fun tour story. And then we flew away, and it's like airport was kind of small. It was like great. It was like kind of walk up the little ramp, like back in the, but yeah, I was like, I'm glad we're extending to Lithuania and stuff.
So how much longer do you actually see Deadbolt going? I mean, it seems like, you can just kind of rotate some guy, like if one guy dies or if he loses his arms, you just bring in another poor soul.
You gotta look at bands. It's like,
You're like Kiss.
Well, if you're gonna be a cult favorite band, you don't need commercial success to keep going on. You will have a good cult following. You'll have good strong fans that are just gonna I just want a good story. And me too. That's what I want in music. I want to hear a good story. I'm so sick of hearing rockers bitching about their lives and wang tanga bang ding dango. It's like that just does not stimulate my mind anymore. And I think the Deadbolt listener would like to hear songs that'll. It's like, I'm driving down to Vegas naked with the 45 caliber bottle of tequila. What are you gonna play? It's like I gotta play Poison or anything. I was gonna play some Deadbolt. Settle your nerves. Stop off.
So basically, we can expect Deadbolt to be around for the next 30 years.
Well, of course.
I mean,
of course. Like I said, we're gonna give you the stories and the entertainment, which music should be. We're not gonna go into the studio and try to pump out some song that it's gonna be the next MTV hit.